From assless chaps of the YMCA to the billionaires of Silicon Valley. I'm shooting this on Inauguration Day. And what does the unity of all these people mean? We're going to find out today. And in the meantime, you can do whatever you feel. Talk to me, Taylor, baby. Yeah, don't copyright me, bitch.
Deemed the celebrity whisperer by Playboy.
This is the best interview of the day.
Thanks for having me.
You hit the nail on the head.
100%.
Period, yeah.
Touch them, Chris. They're cracking me up.
Wear them, baby. This is good.
Taylor Ferber.
Okay, holy shit. We made it, guys. We are here. We are alive and well. And I don't know about you, but the birds are chirping today. The gay pride of the YMCA is swinging today. Dicks out. We are all, well, those of us, with working brains are just feeling the promise of tomorrow. Trump is officially number 47. And I have to say, I know that when he was elected, I was feeling a type of way. I was even don't forget the video. I was doing a little song and dance. I was like, oh, we're eating the dogs and the cats, because it is just what Trump represents, which I'm going to get to in a second. And I may retract some of my words, maybe. Okay, because we can pivot. We can bob and weave here on Talk to Me, Taylor. We're not so stuck in our ways like everyone else, like all these other fossils, And so when he was elected, I remember all those years ago, aka 2 months ago, coming on the show, and I was like, wait, hold on. Is this me? The proclamation of independence of am I part of the Trump train? And I was like, no, not so much. And today I'm kind of like, you know what? Come on, ride the train. Right in. I am back at my 6th grade dance, because again, it's not that I just have a fetish for Trump's toupee, his red tie, his stare of death. It's all that he represents and why it is so empowering and inspiring, and has emboldened even those like a 5'1" blonde like myself who you're hanging out with right now. So maybe actually, yeah. And how Trump has turned into the cool kids club. Again, the fact that Snoop Dogg is dropping it like it's hot for a MAGA ball says something. It's almost like the turn of the tide, that this is now the cool kids club. And to me, it just feels like, even I was watching the inauguration, okay? And you would think this is a real nail biter, except we all know what's gonna come, but it's this has just been such a wretched 4 years that I just could not wait. I had my 3D goggles, my Dolby Theater glasses, my popcorn, the whole bit. And as soon as Trump swore in, I was giddy. I was giddy like a schoolgirl getting her first note passed to her in class, right? Because of what all of this represents and the promise of what is tomorrow. Patriotic zaddies and gals, raise your hands. You know what I mean? In a YMCA moment. Okay, no one wants to hear me sing it, but I can for a small fine. Anyway, so when you think about what he represents and why it's trickled down, it's inspired the nation, even me, even today, being Twinkle Toes, is he represents the ultimate fuck you comeback. Think about it. He left DC, okay, trying to stop steals. He left embarrassed. He left disgraced. He left the laughing stock. And the thing is, he came back swinging. Look, these people tried to take everything from him. They weaponized the justice system, okay? They literally raided in an unprecedented FBI raid, basically in his tidy whitey draw, okay? They indicted him, mugshot, persecuted. He was literally shot at, this guy. And he came back swinging. Swinging the state, dick swinging, the whole things. If you're a 2A kind of person, gun swinging, the whole fucking thing, right? And it's so inspiring because he did not cave. He never bowed down and he never changed. In fact, while he did have a little rebrand moment, like suddenly he was kind of like, he wasn't as hostile. He was kind of kicking it back cool. He's with Theo Vaughn. He's with Joe Rogan. He's with Barstool. Like he's chilling with all these guys. And he was still what he was about and doubled down, America first, all this. But he wasn't as mad and he wasn't as hostile. Like he would still throw out all the names under the sun. Like, let's just have at it. Why not? We all fucking do it. But he would just have this demeanor of like, I have nothing to lose. It was like calm, cool, and collected. And obviously that energy resonated with the masses, myself included. It's why I came out swinging even this year, being like, you know what, from now on, like, you guys think I'm uncensored. Like, I'm actually going to say what I really think. Hide your kids' wives' headphones because shit is going down. Because it kind of shows you, it's like almost the scariest person is someone with nothing to lose, who is about what they're about. And we're in this era where pussyfooting around and trying to appease the masses, it's not going to work. Like people are sniffing it out and they're like, I'm not having this shit. It's really exciting. It's a day of change. And like I said, you have all of these people, the most unlikely coalition of people coming together, and I think feeling this like, yes, I am free from the shackles of the psychosis of the left. Thank you, God. And I have a personal stake in this, which I'm going to get to in the big climax. Like I may even perform for you like Carrie Underwood. I may even bring someone up, with assless traps from the Village People. We will see. But, I have a personal stake in all of this, which is why I feel so like personally tied to this and excited for what's to come. And like all of this nonsense being put to bed and, not getting a gift from the Tooth Fairy this evening. They are not deserving. No. But okay, when we talk about the cool new kids club, we need to also debrief, guys, before I get into this, how this entire inauguration, like, first of all, how politics has become reality TV. And it honestly should be that way. It should be because now we're engaged, we're interested, we're entertained. And so I'm watching this unfold and I'm like, okay, this was definitely an unedited scene out of Laguna Beach because like or like my own high school graduation, because you see everybody come together. It's the good, the bad, the ugly, the awkward. Like, let's just set the scene. Okay. First off, you have basically like half of the world's wealth, Tim Cook. You have Zuck, Elon, Jeff Bezos, the man who owns Google. I'm blanking on his name. Like they're all there. Okay. Dana White is here. And then you say, but this is where it's really beautiful because you're like, democracy is still at work. Like, I guess Trump, the fascist, didn't kill us all after all. And at least not yet. At least not in the first 15 minutes. But, so then you have all of the prior presidents come in. You have like Clinton, you have, Bush, you have Obama, and it was just so entertaining to watch because you see Bill and Hillary Clinton come in and they are right next to Dana White. You see Dana White looking at them and you can only imagine what is going on through this guy's head. Right. And then like cut to do you talk about on the edge of my seat? I was salivating, okay, to watch Kamala and Joe Biden walk in. And again, this is the passing of the torch, what makes democracy. It's like you have to sit there and be like, I'm a big fat loser. Like this could have been me. This could have been me swearing the oath and getting sworn in and doing all the speeches. And instead I'm sitting here like the water boy, warming the bench like a loser. But you know what? That is democracy at work. What can I say? And so I was so excited to see Joe Biden and Kamala walk in because it's like Kamala just like really gave it her all, And so you see them come in and they're all rubbing shoulders with basically like the entire Trump family and their family's family. Like it is just, oh my God, it is so entertaining, But I think probably two of my most favorite parts. One is when you saw Joe Biden checking out Carrie Underwood, literally like this man, okay, barely has a pulse. And what did that just shows you with men, like men will be men until the end, ladies, okay? This guy is on death row, but he still has it in him to look Carrie Underwood up and down and be like, that is a snack. So entertaining. But also, I'm watching the live stream and I'm watching it on CBS, mind you, and I hear the correspondents shook because they're like, okay, word is we are just getting in that Joe Biden, literally milliseconds before walking into this ceremony in the last 20 minutes of his presidency, pardoned everybody in his family tree, essentially, okay? Regardless, like past, present, future, next life, okay? Next stratosphere, next galaxy, regardless if they've ever done a crime or not, because he thinks that, you know, with this new administration in, there'd be retaliatory acts against his family, but like really we have nothing to hide and, you know, we're not covering our tracks. Even the CBS correspondents are like, over and out, Nancy, we have never seen anything like this ever, right? And so this is high school graduation because it's like Joe Biden pulled this. He's coming in and sitting in here knowingly, and yet he has to sit there and play nice and clap occasionally and shake hands with Trump, who again, the math ain't mathing because I thought this was Hitler of the right, who again was going to wipe us all out, kill our democracy, kill all of us while he's at it. And now they're just like smiling and shaking hands. Like if it were Hitler, would this be the case? Like shit would have been real awkward and different. I would think I wouldn't want to be brushing shoulders and wishing him well in his presidency, but that's just me. Okay. So that is high school graduation because you're sitting there and you're like, oh my God, like this bitch Regina is right next to me, but our parents are watching. And so I have to be civil and I have to play nice. But really, I am thinking the thoughts about this bitch. And then like after it's done, you know, the gowns come off, the hats come off, the gloves are off and shit goes down. But that's why like just seeing everybody all up in one space blew my eyes out of my mind, the whole thing. And it was just a moment to behold. Okay. So on Mondays, we wear billionaire attire, it seems, because it was so crazy to see all of these billionaires posted up here. Like they are smiling ear to ear. Elon is to be expected again. Like, and yes, he's next to Barron Trump, who's like 8 feet fucking tall. Is Barron legal yet? Like, can I say he's definitely hung? Because we know that shit is fact checked. Fauci, don't even step near it, okay? Don't try to meddle with the science because we already know, okay? Like this kid is an enigma and that ain't one. But you have already memes of like Elon and his autistic self doing jumping jacks next to Barron for Trump. But what's so fascinating is you have the people who tried to, you have the cancelers, not the chancellors, the cancelers, the Jeff Bezoses. Don't forget, who owns the Washington Post. You have the Zucks, who's had a sudden lobotomy or some sort of Elon Musk brain chip that has given him a complete change of tune about censorship from Meta. So you have the people who have been going after him, you know, and I firmly believe, not so much for Jeff Bezos, but I've said this before about Zuck. Like, I think that, you know, if you want to call Zuck the capitalist of our time, I don't know. My naivete tends to think that this unlocked something in Trump, just like it did Jack Dorsey back when he owned Twitter, to be like, you know what? I was never for being the arbiter of speech. I was never for this anyway, but my hands were tied. And so I did what I had to do. But like now I'm a free bird, you know, free Willy over here, like in some of these people's pants at the inauguration. I don't know, speculate all you will. And so, you know, that's what's so interesting to see is like a lot of people now, the media, they're going to be like, oh, the billionaires cozying up to Trump to stay nice because they're afraid he's going to come after them in their nighttime, sleepy time, poison their tea. I don't really think so. I think that they too see this as a time. Again, call me naive. Is there self-interest? Yes. But I really do think that they see this as a time for just being free of all of this shit that we've been held to with canceling and censorship and the boxes and identity politics and DEI and the rules and blah, 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 on and on and on. Holy fuck. Clearly nobody cares. I think they see the promise, both economically, for business, of course, and for speech. I'd like to think. That's just me. So you have the billionaires there with glee, literally like they may as well be singing with Leah Michelle, okay? And doing like a whole song and dance because they're not just there begrudgingly. Like they are there to witness everything I just said, like the dawn of a new day. As Trump said, like the golden era is here and golden it will be because he is what, like 80 something years old. But you know what? You would never know. This guy has vigor. This guy has vigor. Another reason that this is so inspiring. And again, yeah, like there ain't no shame in my game. Like I have read today for the red wave. You guys know I'm not like a hard right conservative by any means, but I'm proud of this. I'm excited. I'm proud for what this all represents. Not giving a fuck, standing by what you think and have to say, not bowing down, and actually doubling down and going to Pound Town on that. Okay. So, speaking of, is people who are going to double down, sadly, are people of the media who are still with all of their might trying to cling to this little woke cancel culture world and even sort of mocking and questionizing. I was gonna say antagonizing, but whatever, I just made up a word. But that's what we're gonna do in this no fucks to give era and the comeback of it all. Am I right? Antagonizing and questioning celebrities backing Trump, right? You have Carrie Underwood who sang at the inauguration, and I saw so many news feed pop-ups that were like, oh, Carrie Underwood, what you need, like as if it's like worrisome. It's like, bitch, get with the program. The whole country basically was for this guy, okay? Latino, Black, your grandma who's in the grave, like mostly everyone. So get with the program, sis. Like your little old antics aren't working anymore. We're over it. And so you also had, like I said, Snoop perform at the crypto ball over the weekend. You had like Rick Ross, Soldier Boy. It's like, what is happening? I'm like, is this like a night in Atlanta or is this the crypto ball MAGA celebration? Like, I don't even know. Word on the street is also that Nelly is going to be performing at some sort of celebratory inaugural ball tonight. Again, this is Monday that I'm shooting this evening. So you guys, like the plot twist that we never saw coming. But again, I think that comes with the energy of Trump's comeback and really letting nothing defeat you. Like beating all the odds and defying all the odds and writing for what you believe in. And like I said, I think having the like cool collected demeanor and not like flying off the handle all the time definitely helped. But like that is a vibe. That is a certified vibe. From Nelly hot in her to like, are there going to be like stripper poles, Cardi B, WAP, Meg the Stallion twerking at a Kamala Harris rally at this? That remains to be seen. However, in the meantime, what do we have but the village people, okay, leading up to the inauguration, doing the full-blown YMCA with Trump. Now, if this isn't the biggest irony of ironies, I'm at a loss for words, babe. Like, I don't know what is, okay? Because this is one of the most this is the gayest thing to happen at a Trump rally since like George Santos, okay? This is the gay anthem. Even like I just went to search it to put it on my Instagram story and it has a rainbow flag. So the village people conceptualize in the village, right, of NYC, gay capital, well, formerly was a gay capital, okay? And you have them because obviously the YMCA became like the Trump unabashed theme song. And I don't even know if people realize this. I have to admit, I will raise my hand and admit I actually feel super naive. I did not realize this. I'm like, I thought the YMCA was just a fun bar mitzvah song about having a nice time and playing some basketball and shooting some hoops and doing whatever you feel at the YMCA. Well, I have news for you, Sally. It seems that there's always been speculation that the YMCA, since it is such a gay anthem, was about more going down at the YMCA in a way that's gay. Are you catching my drift? It's never been confirmed nor denied. But so also something to note that because of this, when it came out, how conservatives stick up their butt morality police were all up in a tizzy and an uproar, right? And like, look at us now. Look at them now. It's like, and when I say us, I mean the collective of this moment that you have the original village people in their assless chaps, okay, with pants underneath, but still the aesthetic is there. Happily, gleefully bouncing, dancing to their iconic song with Trump while he's in the middle doing his dance. They're doing their dance all together. And again, who would have thunk it from a big fat fascist? Not me. Okay, so what is happening, So to see all of that, it's such an indicator of what is going on, and people again feeling liberated. Even if it isn't Trump himself, it's what he's done and overcoming, right? And being free almost in that way, because it's like, you know what? You can persecute me, you can go after everything from which you can arrest me, you can indict me, you can literally shoot at me multiple times, you can shame me, you can tear me down, you can all this and that, and the Village people are like, here we stand with Trump. There you go, the gay anthem of our time, right up there, getting jiggy with it, with Trump. So I wonder how the left feels about that, because this is where it all falls in on itself, right? Like when they try to cling to these, like I said, like they're trying so hard. They are like keeping their greasy little paws on the draws of cancel culture. And when they see all this, I mean, I can't believe that they didn't have an internal reckoning to see the amount of young people, historic amount of Black people, historic amount of Latinos coming out for Trump in wanting a new era, in wanting opportunity and freedom and being tired of the bullshit. But if that didn't do it, I guess the Village people shaking their ass on stage next to Trump maybe will. It's anybody's guess. We shall see. It was even interesting to listen to the CBS live stream, because you had them noting like, oh, well, it's Martin Luther King Day, and there's a notably few amount of people of color in this room. Like, what do you think, Margaret? And it's funny because actually one of the commentators swooped the hell right in, and they were like, well, actually, I don't know, because in the room that it was in, right, there were all these like really iconic, historic, and patriotic, if you will, moving paintings, George Washington, the whole thing. And someone comes swooping in and they're like, actually, the person who is represented and painted the most in this room, aside from George Washington, is Pocahontas. So Pocahontas and her fine ass, sure. And by the way, sidebar, did you know that Pocahontas, the real Pocahontas, okay, we're not talking The Colors of the Wind here, was only 21 when she died? Like, poor old Pocahontas, like, she couldn't even, like, pour one out, if she were living today, barely, like, maybe 1 or 2, and that's it. But you know what, girl? Your memory lives on and on, and the John Smiths, the Pocas of all of us today, and the Disneys of it all. And so, even I wonder too, I was like, I wonder if Trump is going to give a nod to Martin Luther King. And his whole speech was about, again, like how this past administration has, between the ideology, between the logistics, between the failed execution of things, like all of it from sea to burning sea, basically. Okay. And how this is really the dawn of a new era, and how a big part of that is, government efficiency, not allowing the justice system to be weaponized, spending and prosperity and prices and opportunity, entrepreneurship, all these things, right? Patriotism and all of this. And one of them was freedom, right? And he talks about censorship and all of that ending, which again, obviously the Zucks, the Bezoses were on notice and they got the memo. But he gave a nod to MLK, and I'm glad that he did. And he said, Martin Luther King, I'm paraphrasing, but basically we are going to make his dream come true of true freedom, and a colorblind society, so to speak, like hence all the people who came out in Trump's favor. So again, it's interesting to see. It's going to be interesting. Like the left and the mainstream will twist it any which way they can until their last dying breath, which is like tomorrow. Like literally the mainstream media is on life support, needs to be resuscitated, but it'll be interesting to see how they twist that, flip it, put that thing down, flip it and reverse it, right? Because how can you argue that? With that said, we are maybe finally, as Trump says, and he's not a guy who's just going to say shit to say it, okay? Maybe this really is going to bring people together in unison, and the divisiveness of all of this is going to be kaput. Because the twist is, with all of the identity politics and the forced rules and the DEI, it didn't work. Like, you lost, sweetie. You lost the plot. It didn't work because it just made people, it had the literally opposite reverse effect that you want. You know why? Because people don't like being told what to do, what to say. Like, I'm like playing the tambourine over here like Stevie Nicks. Okay. I'm just feeling all sorts of musical today. Like, I'm the music man. But it didn't work. It made people hostile and irritated and more divided and bitter and unwilling to see the other's points of view. I just have to say too, like, on a censorship, front, on one end of it, I'm really excited to see this. I asked Joy Villa this when she was on my show, like, you've been for this and for Trump for so long, and now it's like become cool. Like, is there a part of you that's like, okay, where have you all been? I sort of feel this type of way. Like, I've been advocating for this for so long, even in my sphere of media journalism, even if it is entertainment journalism, I am so sick and have been so sick of everything from editors manipulating and changing headlines and my words, or stories that were of merit, that were acknowledged for being important stories, being turned down merely because they didn't fit that outlet's narrative. Things from, being cock blocked from opportunities or events to people not wanting to come on my show or not wanting to be interviewed by me, right? Merely for now it's out in the open and common sense and calling it as it is. And even then in Hollywood, like, being looked at like I had three heads for acknowledging this, for acknowledging the PC has gone too far, for acknowledging we shouldn't demonize all men, right? Even the men-women divide. It's like the us versus them, the me too, all of it. And I'm so sick of it, and I have been so sick of it, and like watching my own tail and watching my back for so long. And so it's great to see now, like, it's almost been watered down and whitewashed, but like, censorship and free speech and all this, like, I'm glad it's coming to the light. Again, there's a part of me that's like, where are y'all been? Like, the hors d'oeuvres are cold. Like, we've been waiting. Like, the champagne is flat. But better late than never. And again, it's even why, this is something that is so core to my being of, do not tell me what to say, what to think, how to be, what box to live in. Those ride or dies OGs for my show know something I'm so proud of, and one of the biggest accomplishments of my career is my Playboy feature, in which I and 5 other female journalists were the only women to both pose and write essays about free speech and this very thing on the heels of Me Too, nonetheless, when it was so controversial. Can you imagine, like, there's this whole thing of women being these like victimized fragile dandelions, and here we are nude and writing words, both equally as powerful, owning that fully embodied, rounded expression and autonomy. I recently saw Brianna Chicken Fries that do the Sports Illustrated one. And she, like, Zach Bryan, whatever, he is eating his guitar, his words, his psycho tendencies, everything, because she looks so bomb. And she said the same thing. Like, this is my autonomy. This is my expression, my freedom. Nobody can dictate but me. And so I hope that's what all of this does. Black, white, Asian, Latino, man, woman, again, the us, the them, the conservatives, the woke. I just hope all of it dissipates and goes away with all this, because we should all want one thing in common, and that is freedom. And that is freedom of our views and our speech. And I'll say this, I actually was on a big Vice political debate panel that may come out actually before this even airs. And there was 9 of us on the whole range of the political spectrum. And my takeaway, and I said this on camera, my big takeaway from the whole experience was A, how humanizing it was to sit with these people face to face, and B, the fact that even if it was people that I deeply disagreed with, I could acknowledge and see A, the human side of them, and B, the fact that their views are valid. They're just not mine. And that's okay. They're valid and theirs, just as I am in mine and you are in yours. So, everybody, with that, I say, let freedom ring, because it seems like it is the dawn of the new day. And young man, are you listening to me? Young man, women, everybody. I mean, maybe at the end of the day, we are all finally the village people, the village of the good old US of A.
Stay at the YMCA.